What up, fish people? Kenny E. And as you can see beside me, the legendary Alex Kingslayer Williamson.
Yeah, that was a KO last night, if anybody was watching.
Well, it's good to see you, bud. Appreciate you being the fill-in for Danny for me tonight. Greatly appreciated.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. Always fun to hang out with my buddy Kenny E.
I'm just glad you're still here to hang up. We will get onto that a little later. I'm going to
Yeah.
run through the hellos right quick. We got Andy Carson first in tonight. Linda Worth, hello. Stephen
Hello.
White, hola from Spain. Good to see you. Eugene, always a pleasure. 3G in the house. What's going on, 3G?
Oh, yeah.
Then we got Jack Barrow, a man from Hawaii. What's up, Jack? Good to see you. M. Myers, 1987. What is up? So, Alex, you've had an interesting start to the year, eh?
Well, yeah, an interesting start to summer, that's for sure. Jeez.
By now, you and I've went on at least 3 adventures. This has been a dull summer for us this year. We haven't done
I know
nothing.
I haven't done anything cool other than go to Sacramento. I went and spoke in Sacramento, and that was really cool. But I was dragging. I'm not gonna lie. Like, my wife came with me because she knew that I'd been having health issues, and my legs were all puffy and swollen with edema, and I just felt not so good. And then I got COVID.
Oh, you got it too?
Yeah, I got it like whatever that was, the 26th of June. And then I had it through June into July. It lasted like 2 weeks or so. Then I stepped on that piece of broken glass, didn't really think about it. And another 2 weeks later, or a week later, boom, I went from a little red swollen ankle to 105. By nighttime, it was 106 fever and septic shock in my blood poisoning from it. And literally they had to put me on life support with breathing and everything for what, 4 days I was like that. And then for another 3 days I was in the ICU, and then I was in the hospital for another week and a half, and then bedridden at home for a week. But now I'm walking around, even though I've got a big old boo-boo on my leg.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's
how dare those bastards? Do they mess with your...
Yeah, they cut up my tattoos, so.
Yes, I was going to say, they could have at least worked around them, couldn't they?
Well, they used them as a puzzle, like as a guide to put my leg back together, which, I think that's like cheating. Like, that's like that's easy mode. Like, when they know how to stitch it all back together. But they said that, I went to one hospital, and they like fixed, or they did emergency surgery because they thought I had gangrene, because the cut was like, it had dirt in it, and they thought that was the tissue and not just like a dirty ankle. And so they freaked out. Says,
prove you're not a robot by aligning images.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those things where it's like, which one is not a cat, or whatever. But yeah, so I had to go to the first hospital, and they sent me a bill so far. They haven't even sent all the bills, but the first one I got was for admission to the hospital, and they want $34,000. Like, altogether they want $64,000 for doing and I haven't gotten the surgery bill yet, but they cut open my leg, and it's a 22-inch incision shaped like a oval kind of, but they cut it open, and then they were supposed to, usually they would close it, but they left it open just in case they wanted to medicate it. Then they sent me to Harborview, and it was too busy to close for 8 days. And then it started drying out, and they're like, oh, well, we got to close it. Like, you know, you can't just leave it open to the bone. Like, you know, and each day they were having to clean it all the way with it cut open to the bone. So that's where those gnarly pictures where you can see all the tendons and the muscles and the veins, all that stuff. That's what those are from. But I was fully awake. Luckily, I took an exception in my book of not taking the you know, not drinking and stuff. And so I said, yeah, give me all the morphine, just all of it. And they were able to like what they would do is each day the surgeon trainee guy, the doctor that was a student, he would take this tape for gauze and he would roll it up into a ball, and then on the edge of the cut he'd go like this, and just like you would with lint or like cat hair or something, to get all the stray whatever, I don't know, and then they'd squeeze they'd take hydrogen peroxide and wipe part of it, and then they'd use saline solution, and they'd have to irrigate the whole thing to keep it wet, and then they'd pack it with wet gauze twice a day. And it was like I literally had to roll up a rag and bite on it because I was just yelling so loud. Like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to, you know, like sometimes you have pain where it's like, oh, that really hurts. Like, and you can like totally grasp it. That's what this was. Like, it reminded me of like if you stub your toe really bad, or you're like hammering a nail and miss and like smack your hand, and you're like, I know it's bad, but I don't know how bad, and it just hurts. And you're just like, this is gonna be bad. Like it's just like I don't know how crazy this is gonna end up, but it hurts, and you're just like almost laughing at like how incredibly painful it is. That's what it felt like. And then when that kind of died down at night, it would ache, and that wasn't funny. That was just like miserable, you know. But I got through it, and now I'm walking. I mean, I'm still walking slow, but I don't have the walker. They told me it'd be a month before I could walk, and like at least a month, if not two, before I'd be able to drive at all. And I've been driving.
Apparently, haven't watched it. I mean, you're Mr. Energy Ball, and
yeah,
I knew they weren't going to keep you down very long. I'm going to say a couple more hellos. We got Stephen P. walked in, Kalish, Victor C. That I've got Peplin Creek Aquatics, been a member for 42 months. Saying, Kitty, thank you, Peplin. I appreciate you and Roxy both. Aquarium Fantasy, welcome. Pets Corner, welcome. Then we got Empire Dirt coming in saying, you were distracting me. Hello, everyone. He's the guy that was talking about the super whites. Let's see here. Lori, welcome. Barbara Jackson, there's a name I love. Haven't seen her in a while. Great to see you, Barbara.
Yeah.
She's somebody we met at Fishtoberfest one year.
Yeah, that's right.
Sonny G, welcome. Dennis,
hey,
welcome.
Sonny.
Long Family Show. Hello, Mickey M. Man, it's got to be late over in Mickey's area.
Yeah, I know, right? He's got to. I thought he'd be counting the pistos and falling asleep by now, like sheep, but a pistos.
What's up, Johnny Best? Good to see you. Chris Aquazone in the house. What's going on? I think I got everybody. I think I'm caught up, Alex.
Boy, that is a task, man. I never get there. I'm always behind on that.
I try to stay somewhat with it, and I always leave off where I left off. Aquatic Moose, there's Moose. Father Fish, what's going on, sir? June, good to see
Father Fish. Cool.
There's Miss Regina Phalange.
All right.
Alex, a.k.a. Superman.
Yeah, except Superman's unscathed. You know,
so Alex, I'm just glad you made it through it, man. I mean, obviously, I don't have to tell you how much you mean to me. We've been friends for a long time now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I was in shock when you called me. I'm like, what? I just saw you like 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just feel bad for my wife too, because like it's one thing when I go through these crazy things and I'm like, yeah, I almost died again, and like that's sadly that's something that I can say, but like for her, you know, it's like all over again, like heart attack type, you know, like oh my God, what's going on? We got to get to the hospital. And then she had to sign a waiver saying that they could amputate my leg. And, you know,
Oh Lord.
I was laying there and I was in shock, granted, but I was like, well, this leg already doesn't support my weight. Like, it's the one that's messed up from the lightning. Like, it's the one that I have to limp with already. So if you really have to take a leg, at least it was the bad one. So I was like,
Right.
oh, I was like, that's the crappy leg anyways. And she's like, that's not funny. But I thought it was. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
Laura's not one for much. She's not much for games. She's a
no,
serious lady, so I can just imagine how that conversation went.
yeah, I was gonna say I got a new addition here. I got a little puffer. So we got a puffer that will be joining the aquarium in the living room. And the aquarium over here has way too many snails. Oh, and then I also got three. I don't know. Are they in focus at all?
They're getting there. There you go.
They're three clouded zebra otocinclus.
Oh, neat.
So they're kind of cool. They're kind of striped and
That's what's cool about aquariums, then, man. He's always got some kind of, cool
yeah,
stuff that you don't see every day.
yeah. So you know, I'm all about lately. I mean, there's lots of pretty fish and stuff, but I'm all about like the bringing some weird ones. Like, yeah, I need an otocinclus cleaning crew, but let's get like, you know, giant ones or red-tailed ones. There's 28 species out there that just aren't in the hobby, and I don't know why. They're so cool.
Well, I do know that I've got a few friends that are some fish just do not ship well. I mean,
True,
some of those
true.
real rare species don't do well shipping. So,
Ivan told me that there's a wild guppy that lives outside of Caracas, Venezuela. And he said that they're in all the sewers. They're like all over the place. And they have an orange line down their body and a red dot right behind their gill. And he thinks they're like a new species, not just a new color morph, because they also have kind of like a little bit of a sword tail like looking shaped tail. And those, he said, are all over in the sewers, but if you lift them up and put them in a bottle or whatever, they just literally roll over and float to the top, like almost in the same motion. So they don't survive.
these guys, man, still giving me crap. I made the mistake, and one morning I got up, I was getting ready to leave for my trip, and there's Pepler still half out of it. He'd had a pretty rough night. So I went up and I tickled both of his sides. I thought he was going to punch me. I really did. I scared the shit out of him.
Well, you went and visited them, right? When's the
Yeah,
video
I went
coming
up
out?
and toured their fish room, and yeah, it was awesome.
Is the
Met quite a few
video up?
fish. I met Eduardo, Master Aquatics. I met
Oh, nice.
Sketty Nona. I met Shane, and then of course Jeff from. I always forget Jeff's channel's name. I always know him as Jeff, but hold on.
I have that same problem with
Empire
people.
of Dirt Aquatics. That's it. That's Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Kane. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's quite the crew. That's a good get together.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Nice. You guys have some barbecue or something, or what were you doing?
Pepler had a little bit of everything going on. Unfortunately, I only was able to partake in the Friday night festivities. Saturday, I wasn't there for the cookout. I left at 12:30.
Oh,
So I
wow.
missed a couple of people like Fish Nerd and Hagen's, but I had to get down to the Rockford Shuffle, man, which was about 3-hour drive still I had ahead of me when I left at 12:30. So
You're a
It seems
crazy
like that's the way it
traveling
always
man.
is. So you go visit people, you're always on the run to try to see everybody, right?
Oh, I know. That's the hard part about when you go speak to a club or if you go to an event, like takes
Yeah.
forever.
ATMs. Alex, you're actually right. I'm adapting a new Kundalora Pistos to a new cake.
Oh, nice. So he is up.
Now, if I ever make it to his country, I would love to shoot his fish room.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh. I
there's a name I
know.
haven't seen in a while. GNC, what's up?
Hey, always good to see when people come through. You know, I think just the sheer fact that like you posted and then I posted in my like events or whatever, I think it like overrides some part of the algorithm so that just people who haven't seen it in a while see the update of like come say hi to us, you know, because sometimes you'll see folks like Chevy Fish or something. It's like, well, I haven't seen you in forever, you know. I need to find something cool
So
here.
Hagen wants to know if the Peplin experience really made an impact on them. So how about you? I always enjoy going to Peplin's place. They've always got a ton of cool fish.
Yeah, that's cool. Did she have all the axolotls that Roxy has too?
Yeah, axolotls were everywhere, Alex. And then the thing that stuck with me the most, they've got 16 species of Coriodoras. So, I mean, so many
16?
different types. And every time you thought you saw the best looking one, pop, then this other one comes crawling out of a stone or whatever. And you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I didn't see that one. And yeah,
Holy
really, really cool
smokes.
experience. What's going on,
Wow.
Jeremy? Larry D in the house. What's up, man?
Larry, what's up?
So, should you guys have any fish questions for Alex or myself, feel free to ask away. That is what part of what the show is tonight. We're doing a little Q&A.
Yeah, if the fish is bigger than an inch and a half, you're probably gonna have to ask Kenny. If it's smaller, I might have a chance in helping.
Yeah, right, Mr. Modus. He'll
Well,
be able to tell you the scientific name of the fish in question.
I'll try. You know, I'm still
Oh
screwed
my
up on all
goodness.
the.
All the people. Alex, you're bringing in all the old people, man.
Hey, right
We
on.
haven't seen Steph in ever either. Good to see you there, Steph.
Yeah, awesome. Speaking of plecos, too, you were saying you got a whole flush of plecos.
Yeah, mine have been going crazy. Steph, I got 2 more breeds out of the super whites. We were on the member stream. I thought I only had 2 in there, but I went to Chicago and I haven't really had time to inspect my tank lately. And when I lifted the log, there was like 6 to 8 babies under it. Good size, 1.5, 2 inches. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, isn't that great when you realize that they've already lived past that like dangerous 1 month mark too? They're just there and like doing well. I love that. So where
David
is
Hill, my guess was if fire mouths are not all that overly aggressive, if that thing even has 10% Salvini in it, the Salvinis are killer machines.
yeah.
I've seen Salvini take out medium-sized Oscars. I mean, they're not the nicest fish in the world. So I would use caution. As long as it's a big enough tank, you might get lucky with it. And as long as you're putting more than, I've seen your little firemouth collection. So I think if you're putting them all in at once with him, you might be okay. As long as
Yeah,
all the aggression isn't going to one fish. But I would definitely keep a strong eye on it for the first week.
yeah. I mean, if you got an aggressive fish, it seems like it really pays to put all the so if you have convict cichlids or whatever, put all 5 or however many you have in and hope that they just beat up on each other, because sometimes they'll turn on some poor little, Cory or something that's in the tank, and then it's no good for anybody. Yeah. I wish,
All right, so we got another question.
I
And
don't know
I
if
am
it,
not recognizing that name. I've kept many eye biters, but I am not recognizing this one.
let's see here. Which one?
String Goddess eye biter.
Well,
It might
apparently,
just be another type of eye biter, just from a different collection point. Oh,
yeah,
actually, I have kept this fish. Yes, this is the
eye
one with the,
biters.
yeah, the orange on the top. I have kept that one. They get extremely gorgeous blue face to them.
Oh,
Mine
cool.
got the one I had, I think, got to about 8 inches there, Stephen, if that helps. Great fish.
I had I got to tour Pam Chin's house, and
Oh, that would have been awesome.
she had so many fish. She had like ones that eat scales, ones that eat eyeballs, ones. I was
Yeah.
like, is there anything these cichlids don't eat? Like, man. And then I wanted to know, like, the nutritional value of a scale can't be much, right? Like, if that's all you're eating is scales of other fish.
And looks
You
like we
got it.
got 3G's asking about Shubo Greens have a V-tail. I don't think mine do. It's more like a Moscow tail. So if you got a V-tail, that might be a little bit of a defect there, 3G.
Yeah, or somebody's side breeding project or something.
Or sometimes when they're babies, somebody gets them good in between their tail, it will turn V-tail too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to get some unusual like live bears, like some Lamia, or some little micro Costulia or something that's got color, like just a little bit, like a dot or a line of color, but that is completely wild. There's a group on Facebook, and one of the guys in the group posts every single day. His name, I think, is Latrell, and he posts a whole write up on the species and like 3 to 5 pictures and or a video. And I didn't even know there were that many live bears, to be honest. Like, I've been part of the group for like 3 months now. Literally every day he's had a new species. So
Oh, believe me, man, that's a rabbit hole. If you get down it, man, you could be in that hole for years and years and years.
yeah, it's
Danny and
like
I were in that rabbit hole for probably 7 years, 8 years. I had
oh
3 or 4 care species. I still have a couple of the care species in the house still that I'm going to be, as painful it is, moving out because I'm trying to consolidate to where, I mean, the honesty is I don't believe Danny's going to be able to help me whatsoever with the fish room in the next year, probably, maybe 2 years. So I want to get it to a manageable size where I can do my full-time job and still maintain the fish house. But you can bet the minute I'm retired, then we're going to be in trouble. Then it's going to be back up to. I mean, I don't even know why I'm selling these auxiliary tanks. I should be keeping them in storage or something because I know I'm going to probably want to upgrade when I get retired.
yeah. Also, Johnny asked if I've ever bred the Phoenix Rasboras, and I have. I have a video on breeding Phoenix Rasboras and Chili Rasboras, exclamation point Rasboras, any of those Rasboras that are all tiny like that. The strawberry Rasbora, the delicate Rasbora, the emerald eye Rasbora, they're all identical in how they like to breed. They all are egg scatterers. They all like flooded jungle, mild black water, all the way to extreme black water, but they'll do it in like 7.0 or 6.5. And, the main thing is keeping them away from the eggs. And then the other main thing is you want to make sure that the parents see that there is single cell organism food, like whether that's green water or whether that's the little seed shrimp dots moving around. But something's got to be in there that tells them, oh, there's food for the babies. Otherwise, they won't bother. And then I usually wait for low pressure and all that. So yeah, we got so many good people in here. It's great to see everybody.
There's Sage. She's
Yeah.
one of the members that I was supposed to be down there today, but I just didn't want to take a chance and giving anybody this crud because it's too soon, you know.
Is that Willamette or?
Yeah, today was Willamette Valley Aquarium Society. I have not been
Mhm.
there in 3 months. It's driving me nuts. Something keeps happening every time. So, in answer
Bummer.
to your question there, Johnny Best, I generally speaking will do the auction with Skipper. However, it all depends on what my stocks look like around that time. I don't necessarily know if I will be part of it in September because I've got Fishtoberfest probably within the next weekend. So I most likely am not going to have time to ship. So I don't think I will be in the September auction, but I will be in the November auction. And then I think November is the last auction. He doesn't typically run it December, January, or February. So
Yeah.
due to the shipping, it would not be cool to ship those months usually.
Dionysus, Moose, what's going on? Man, there's a lot of folks coming through.
Yes,
Asya,
there is.
Stephen White, Monster Fish Gal's here, Lori's here.
Yep.
Wow. And Roxanne was here too. Is she still?
Oh yeah, Foxanne's here almost every Sunday.
Ah, good.
And Susan
And
Moore, she's one of those. She's my swap sister.
your
Goes to all
swap.
the swaps with me, and we usually get tables next to each other. We kind of keep an eye on each other's table if one of us has to use the restroom or whatever. So she's always.
And Patrick, good to see him. Dragon Lair. Yeah, you know, I think your stream brings more people from some of the people I've known on the channel than my stream does.
Johnny Best, thank you for the $2 super sticker. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, if we have any questions, we're happy to ask. I'm also curious, Kenny, you've been traveling all over. What kind of fishing did you do while you were out east?
Well,
I was saying
unfortunately,
east and yonder.
because of here's what happened. Okay, Friday night. I guess I haven't talked about my trip. I forgot. I just got back. None of these guys have heard about the trip.
Right.
I mean, they were at part of the trip. I mean, one of my last days in Rockford, I did a stream. My whole family was on it, so they got to see that. But anyway, I got up to Wisconsin on Thursday night, and my dad and I took his travel camper, went to my favorite spot on the lake. There's this cool dock. I hung out there. I caught like 20, 25 smallmouth bass, and I caught like 15 of these big, burly, ugly freshwater drum. They're sheep's heads is what we call them. But,
oh, yeah.
I caught probably 15. They're ugly. Have you ever seen those in person, Alex?
They're really ugly. They're really ugly fish. The saltwater ones are even uglier.
Yeah, but the saltwater ones are at least good eating. Now, somebody tells me you can eat these sheep's heads. I don't know if
really
game for it.
I don't know. I'd be scared.
There is a sheep's head.
Oh, it's turned sideways, but we kind of see it.
God damn it.
Yeah, ugly fish.
That's a sheep's head.
You know,
so
I've never
a bunch of those, and then I had all the way up to the dock about a 35-pound carp and I had them on 6.5-pound test or 6-pound test, ultralight.
Somebody just I think it was either Minnesota or Michigan, but somebody just killed with a bow. So they were bow fishing a 24.5-pound goldfish that was feral.
Wow. Stephen P says they use sheephead for imitation crab meat.
Yeah, they use a lot of fish for that, but they use the tropic, or they use the not tropic, the saltwater sheep's head because they eat lobster and crayfish and crabs and stuff like that, and so apparently their meat tastes a lot more like imitation crab. Apparently,
so Barry White must be playing all over the West Coast because Stephanie says her super whites are breeding like crazy too.
Nice. Yeah, I want to know if anybody's leopard frogs are breeding, because mine only ever did it once successfully in 4
Mine
years.
have been trapping now for about the last 3 weeks or so. So
That's
I'm hoping this will
something.
be my first spawn if I get it.
That's
There's one that
something.
I've been wanting to get off the list, but I just introduced the colony together about 6 months ago. So
That's still young.
I had the males separated in another tank while the females were growing out. I had females and some other smaller males. Now they're
Yeah.
all in 140-gallon together. So
Oh, nice. Yeah. You know, I want to get a hold of some of those, like I was saying, some of the weird live bears, but I also want to get a hold of like nanochromis, like transvestitis or splendens, or like what some of those really like congoensis, the like this size, but they're really bright, colorful. The longer ones, the longer body ones.
ooh.
I want to get some of those too.
Barbara brought up an interesting fish news. Did anybody hear the reports of the oarfish being found? It's also called the doomsday fish. That was a
Yeah, it
trippy
caught
fish,
it
man.
off San Diego, I think, is where they caught the latest one. And they just caught one like 3 weeks ago off San Diego too. So
And I thought a
may-
dead one washed up on Oregon shore about a month ago, if I remember right.
yeah, and they also found what are those big fish called? They're like they call them
Yeah, it's a
sunfish, but
sunfish. It's a saltwater sunfish.
that they found those too. And they had, so you know the story, I'm sure, where, hey Fish Frenzy, you know the story, I'm sure, where in the 70s they didn't know what to do with the whale, so they filled it with dynamite,
Yeah.
and the news crew is there, and the thing just blows up, but then all the pieces come down and start like wrecking cars and like
Yeah.
smashing stuff. So in honor of that, the locals right now have another whale that they're supposed to get rid of in that same town, and I think it's banned in Oregon. And they're trying to say that they want to get rid of it with C4 and like really blow it to pieces this time and really clear the area. But yeah, nobody wants to like dig a hole or drag it back out to sea or do any of that stuff. Everybody's like, let's blow it up. Let's blow it up. So I'm curious to see what happens. In this day and age, they probably won't let anybody blow anything up. Like, that's way too fun.
Well, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking to begin with. I mean, the
No.
natural gases that build up, and I mean, you can just know that's not going to end well, blowing the damn thing up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, they can blow up on their own with the force enough that it has killed people climbing on
on
deceased
top of a
whales.
carcass, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like flipped them around and, they landed on the ground on their neck or whatever. So that is why, like, they have to do something in the summer when that happens. But yeah, pretty crazy.
And then the ocean sunfish is a legend, mythological creature believed to have solar power.
Solar power. I need to get one of them to power my house.
Oh, is Vibe sick now too?
Who?
Somebody just said, I hope you get better vibes. I don't know. Chat's really moving tonight, guys. We're trying to keep up.
Yeah, chat is cruising.
And then the second day, Alex, I had to go up north to that funeral. Well,
right.
my stepmother basically forgot to tell everybody that she had a headache, so she probably had the COVID then.
Right.
So we're in this travel trailer going up with her up there. We get up there, we go to dinner with some of the immediate family, and we get back to the trailer. We go to sleep at about 10:30. 2:30 in the morning, she's bent over, can't stand it, has to go to the hospital right now, 2:30 in the morning. So my dad and I had to drive the one guy's truck to him. He was nice enough to leave us his truck. So me and my dad were supposed to go fishing on a lake there the next day, and that ended up not happening. So anyway, jetted her down to 2 hours away to Marshfield, and then we waited. They decided they were going to intake her. So Dad and I took the camper back to his place. grabbed my Mustang convertible rental car, hauled ass back up north 2 more hours to hit the funeral, hit the reception. And then we drove all the way back down that night. It was a mess, man. We were pretty waxed by the time. So that was Friday. Then Saturday, or excuse me, that was Friday that all that happened. Then Saturday we went to the funeral. Sunday we got back. Dad decided to take out the pontoon. We went across the lake and drifted across this nice hole, and I got quadruple jumbo perch that are the size of walleyes.
Oh, right. Yeah, the yellow perch.
Yeah, big old yellow perch, and then some nice walleye. I got 2 decent sized walleye. 17 and like a just under limit, 19. So
Nice.
If it had been a 20, I would have had to throw it back. So that was nice. So needless to say, I got some good fillets for din-dins that night.
Yeah.
And Monday, Dad woke up. He couldn't get out of bed. That was the day I was leaving. And then I heard he went to go use the restroom, and I heard this crash. Well, he had passed out while standing, taking a leak, fell into the, and I it was everything I could do to get him up. I mean, my dad's not a little man. And anyway, got him back to bed, sat there with him, had to call a relative, say, listen, my flight's in exactly an hour and a half, 2 hours. I've got to get to Madison. So I need one of you to come over here and keep an eye on him until he gets through this. And then I didn't even make it to my first flight to Atlanta, and I had a voicemail that he was en route to the hospital by ambulance because his fever spiked to almost 105 or something. It was deadly, scary high too. So
that's no good.
So that was that. Then I got my flight, and then on the flight home, I couldn't believe it. So when I'm getting onto the flight, there's this little old lady sitting in a wheelchair. They're like, okay, are you sure you didn't hurt nothing? You fell pretty hard. I guess the lady had like passed out and fell on her way up the ramp to the plane, and they had her in a wheelchair, and they're asking her all these questions. But anyway, they cleared her to go ahead and get on the flight. So we're about 2 hours in the flight. We're just outside of Denver, and Denver's got storms. So anyway, from a long story short, that woman goes into the bathroom to use the restroom, and I'm in a seat right next to the restroom. And I look down when she comes out, and there is a puddle of blood this big around in that restroom. And she's trailing blood all the way back to her seat. So I called the people. I'm like, that lady that y'all let on the plane has an issue now. And I would bet she's compound fractured something because she is bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go back and they're jacking with her. We got no water, no food, nothing that whole flight because they were so worried about that. So anyway, they say, okay, is there any doctors on board? 2 doctors go back, and like 20 minutes later, they're rerouting us to Kansas City for an emergency landing because she needed immediate medical attention, probably because she had no blood left,
God.
So anyway, so then that delayed us by about 2 hours. So I ended up getting in. I landed at 2:45 a.m. our time, Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday I went fine. It didn't seem like I was having any issue. Then Wednesday I couldn't even lift my head to get out of bed. Tuesday I was a mess too, but not quite as bad. But by Wednesday I was bedridden. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was bad.
Man, and where was she bleeding? What was the deal with her again?
Compound fracture. She broke her freaking hip so bad the pieces of the hip smashed through the side of her body. She compound fractured her hip. But here's the scary part. She has a compound. She walked the whole length now 3 times, bathroom and stuff. So then they want to get her out of there as quickly as possible. They're bringing in gurneys and everything. She's like, put that gurney away, young man. I'm not that old yet. And she got up and walked her ass off the plane. She gets to where the first class passengers are, and she goes, and she puts her hands on her hips. She goes, and I want to know who the hell did this to me. Everybody witnessed she fell, and so I think she might have had a little senile or something going on as well, dementia.
I mean, she's probably in shock.
She had like 3 little cats they almost forgot her cats. I watched her do it. She stuffed them in the thing up above her. I said, listen, I watched that woman. She has 3 cats in a little red bag, and I think she smashed them up there.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There was the 3 kittens, so they rushed those out. They were about ready to take off with them up there. That would have been a mess for those stewards.
Oh man, yeah. You know, my wife finally said I could get a cat again because, you know, ours ran away the day after my birthday, which was happy birthday, Alex. Your cat disappeared. But yeah, so she said that, you know, we had Silky the last 3 years at this house, like kind of the stray cat that we kind of adopted. But she's like, why don't you get a cat? And she goes, but I don't want any kittens. That, yeah, you know, you have to like teach them everything. And I was like, what are you talking about? Have you ever had a cat? And she was like, no. And I was like, you don't have to teach them anything. They're cats. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, you don't have to teach them anything. She's like, what about when they poop all over the house? And I'm like, they don't. They're cats.
Barbara says that the angle of camera makes it look like I only do one arm days.
Yeah, it does kind of. Are you in the bedroom? Are you in Danny's usual spot, or where are you?
Oh, I'm upstairs in the living room.
Oh, okay. That's
got the wall tanks, and I think we got 6 tanks in this room.
Yeah, that's the big. You got the big tank. Then behind you, are there little fish in the big
10-gallon?
Oh, that's not the one in the wall.
No, the wall tanks are behind me.
Oh, okay, all right. I was all turned around.
As soon as you walk through the front door.
What kind of fish are in that tank schooling behind you?
Those are beautiful cardinal tetras I got from Jason up at Redfish Bluefish.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Those look
at the
killer.
red in those bad boys.
Yeah.
Jason goes, how many you want? I said, all of them.
Yeah, see, that's the danger. Like when Lara's out of town, everything like I've been good. I haven't been smoking. I've been really good, but she leaves and I'm like power smoking and like buying fish out of control and like going and getting like 3 Dr. Peppers a day. And then she comes back into town and I got to be a little saint and I just no cigarettes for 3 or 4 days.
Sage is giving it to you.
Yeah, see, they know that I'm usually on a pretty tight leash. It's really nice out still. Like, I'm really surprised after last night's crazy weather. Like, it's sunny and 80 degrees in Seattle. What's it doing down there?
Here today. I didn't think it was going to get up to after those storms yesterday. I mean,
I didn't either.
My daughter was freaking out, dude. She was on her way home from work last night. She almost got hit by lightning twice in her car yesterday, right in front of her car.
Well, she's down in like by Oak Harbor or not Oak. What's it called? Something Harbor.
No, the Gig Harbor, ain't it?
Gig Harbor. There was a lot of lightning in Tacoma, Gig Harbor, that like Olympia, that whole Southern Sound area. There was a lot of lightning.
There might be some truth to that, Steven.
Yeah. What's going to happen is I hope my wife is having a good time and out, you know, drinking with her friend, because otherwise, if she's watching the live stream, I'm about to get a text saying, "Oh, you think you're pretty slick, don't you?" But
I played that game for, about 6 months to a year. Danny had quit successfully, and I felt guilty. I figured she quit, so I'm not going to smoke in front of her. And I was doing this whole bit. I had dryer sheets in my car that I could wash my hands with before I went in the house, breath mints, you know, and then I'd spray myself so I didn't have no smoke. And I played this charade for about 6 monts to a year. And
Kenny, you're so clean.
One day, she happens to text me. She goes, you know, you can smoke in your normal spot, right? You don't have to take trips around the block and all this craziness you've been doing for the last half year, right?
She let you suffer.
She would. Women know, dude.
Oh yeah, I know. You can't get it. You can't.
Wives, dude. They got like a radar that they know when you're messing up. You know.
Oh yeah, I know. It's pretty pointless. I mean, she was like, so how many have you had? And I was like, I don't No, off the top of my head. I was going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, and quickly I realized, no, that's a dumb answer.
Dragon Lair said it was stifling hot in Alabama today. Said he almost
Oh, I
overheated
bet.
in the yard.
Down
Alabama
in
is.
the South is just sticky, icky, hot all summer long. You know, I was reading an article that the Oroville Water Reserve in California and Lake Mead, which they were like so low that they were finding like old mafia bodies and stuff, you know, in barrels out there. Well, it turns out that it has rained so much in the last year and a half, like rained like biblically, you know, more than it has in 100 years. And now a couple of those reservoirs are like back where they need to be
Yeah, they
to
were
be
talking about they're
right.
going to be dried up in 3 years. Remember, they were doing the countdown.
Yeah.
And in answer to your question, Johnny Best, I no longer keep the black ruby barbs. Ours aged out, and I haven't kept them in, gosh, probably a year now.
Those are cool fish.
They are really cool. The male, especially, are when they're flaring that red, man.
Yeah. Somehow they're like red and like smoky black charcoal gray at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the females are the ones. They're not the fancy to look at. I mean, it's still cool. They got the stripes and whatnot, but oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it was 110 heat index there today. Can you
No
imagine
thanks.
110 in Alabama? I mean, ooh.
No thanks. Yeah, no
Or
thanks.
you shower and you're going to get one just walking.
Seriously. I don't know how people settled those areas before air conditioning. It just seems crazy. Like there's like 3 months out of the year where you're just like, no, I can't do anything physically.
Yeah,
Although
I don't think
you
I could, man.
yeah, I mean, you think about places like I don't know, Maine or Detroit even, or you know, Chicago. Kind of like most of the US, you got to pick like 3 or 4 months that you're just cool with not being outside, whether it's winter or summer or like wet season. Fish Tropic, what's up?
And then we got this guy saying, I'm expecting a power cut. Central Hudson has been digging up the front of the road, and they actually set up tents. Yeah, it sounds like they're planning on moving in for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Question for Alex. What happens to the waterways when salt from the road and magnesium chloride wash in?
So it can cause a lot of problems. But the main one is just like actual death. Because any fish that needs to osmotically regulate saltwater and freshwater, so like salmonids and things like that, trout, they'll just be completely haywire because they think that they're going into brackish water, and it totally throws them off. But if it's like a magnesium salt or like a phosphate and salt, like kind of hybrid, sometimes they'll do natural salts that are bonded with like other elements so that it's not like sodium chloride straight up, like, you know, like road salt. And there's still major problems though, like if the fish are spawning, because in all organisms, the signals for like when you're seeing something, when you're swimming away quickly, like all nerve signals are sent with sodium or potassium ion channels, and they don't form right when that's too high or too low. But you know, especially too high, it can cause like spinal cord defects and vision and all sorts of other defects, and make them also. There's a disorder that they found in I can't remember what fish it was. I want to say it was catfish or something kind of unexpected, but they in the Hudson Valley, I think it was Hudson River Valley, they saw that they were all like all the fry were twitching, and they couldn't control their fine motor skills with their fins and stuff to like gently swim, and they were all really messed up. And that was from a really high dose. Low dose, it all just goes back into the environment. But yeah, if it's a high dose that washes right into the water, it's bad. And there's people actively working to like protest and or say like to change that because of all that. Yeah.
Ooh, it's got some nice Africans coming. You're gonna love the Borlei. Those are amazing. Albino firefish. That would be cool.
That's
The
cool.
red dragon. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, that I gotta do a world tour next, Alex. You want to go on a world tour? Should we go like on a world tour and do fish rooms all over the world?
You know I'll die at like the second one.
No, dude, I'm doing the math here. Okay, lightning was first.
Yeah.
Then you had that one episode. I think you got like 5 lives left, dude. You're like a cat.
I was trying to figure that out because like there was a time in a car when I should have been gone. There was a time when I was doing a government contract and there was a drive-by and I literally like everyone thought that I was being like chivalrous and I tackled this lady like to get her out of the way, but I just like was like hit the deck and I just happened to take her down with me kind of. I mean, I was just going to get to the floor however was the quickest. I didn't have thoughts in that moment other than let's go. And but yeah, that was another close call. Since this channel has existed, there have been at least 5 close calls and like 3 where I'm like in the ER ICU with like breathing tube. So maybe you're right. Like I can't have that bad of luck, right?
Yeah. Stephanie
I gotta win the lottery.
We got a nurse updating us on the broken hip. Usually when it breaks, it's the first thing to break, osteoporosis, and then they fall usually. All I know is Steph, she fell in the ramp going up. She was sitting in a wheelchair when I came up. No, she wasn't bleeding then, but my guess is, and I hate to assume, she was an older lady. I'm sure she like some of my family members, as they get older, they have to wear those Depends or whatever. So that might have been soaking up a lot of it. But then she had an issue and went into the restroom, and that's when she came out and hell broke loose. I mean, yeah, it was bad. But
man.
Stephen King says, yes, had been reading the fluctuation in conductivity levels can wipe out entire generations of new spawns.
Yeah, it's not good. There's certain places too where like it'll build up and then like, it'll rain really hard like once every 2 or 3 years, like out in desert stretches and stuff, like Wyoming or South Dakota, and then it washes out and goes down like the Missouri River and it just, yeah, it's not good. Yeah. But, we got a million ways to kill fish accidentally as a society. So, like California this year, they lost 1.5 million baby salmon, like in one accident, and they lost another 2 million in another accident. I was like, who is running this place that you could just have an accident and kill millions of salmon? That's like, I don't know. I think they need better accident control measures there. Yeah.
Well, then you got the endless amounts of cities that have figured out let's build a sewage plant right on the edge of the river. I mean, that doesn't cause much either.
No.
And then, of course, here in Oregon, I will give them credit. I have hands-on witnessed the Willamette River going from one of the dirtiest in America, and now it's probably up there with the top 15 of cleanest now. They did a great job. They went through. They've got all the dead iron and all the metal, and these teams of people from one end to the other to go through and get every chunk of iron and all the impurity metals out of there, and all these different things, trying to get the PCP levels down and the mercury levels down, and they decommissioned the Trojan plant on the Columbia, because I mean, literally, people were catching 3-eyed fish by that thing. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you look at, the sad part is that like they did all that work, and like Washington State too, they've done a ton of work on the rivers, and it's a success story, and a lot of people don't know it, and like the fish are back in a lot of cases, like they're doing better than they were. But the problem is, like, yet again, now Hanford's leaking slowly through those shells. And it's like, well, what's that going to do? Like, we've got literal radioactive waste slowly seeping out of there. We're going to have X-Men fish.
Yeah, Regina says one of their lakes just recently closed down because massive amounts of dead fish.
Yeah. I saw, like, Utah had that too. Like, I've seen it a lot of places lately.
Hips will break when just walking. Woo.
Oh, geez.
Can't wait for those days, Steph.
Yeah. How'd you break your hip? Oh, walking. I mean, to be fair, I know a lot of people I'm like, how'd you break your knee? And they're like, oh, I got out of bed funny, you know, or it's just some dumb thing like that.
That's the way it always works, though. I mean,
yeah.
When I had my injury, I wasn't doing anything extraordinary, just taking an SUV tire, put it back on a rack and pop, pop, pop. I mean, that's how it goes. It's something stupid gets you. I think of all the stupid things I've done and not even get a scratch, and then, little things get me,
Right. Yeah, no, I think about, like, how I used to ride BMX bikes or, like, driving fast car, like, street race, whatever, like, all the dumb things we did. Climbing, 80 feet up in the trees.
I've rappelled off sides of cliffs. I've jumped out of back of perfectly running airplanes. I've jumped out of helicopters. Yeah. I mean, and never a scratch. And, well, I kind of got scratched on the last.
I was going to say that last time I think you got a scratch.
Yeah, the last one scratched me up pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you leave it to a Marine to jump out of a perfectly good, working airplane. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to most? That's what I got to know before we end this thing. What's the next Kenny project? Hopefully no coincidence, what's the next big thing?
First thing, one of the big projects is the 2 tanks in the wall are now 20 years old.
Ooh.
So they're starting to give me, at night I don't sleep too well, wondering if one of them's going to pop a seal anytime. So that's one of the immediate goals. The reset on Danny's tank next to our bed, the 75 is another one. And then
how much room?
Both paludariums are going to get done this
winter. So how much room is there on the other side of that wall that you like? Could you go?
I think I can upgrade to at least 150. I might be able to go 180. I have to see. But the other thing I'm considering, and I got to look into how much it will cost, is having somebody come in and custom build me a tank to fill that whole space. One ginormous tank. And I will fill it with Malawis, man.
I was going to say, what about like a Stingray or something,
Now, those were once in my, but I got to be painfully honest. I've got to downsize because the Stingrays are just going to make me evolve to where I'm going to have a pond in the garage or something.
Yeah.
Those things get ginormous, and
they need such surface area.
My buddy from Guppus is the one that got me hooked on it. He had the breeding pairs, and these little guys, you put a piece of shrimp in your hand, they come up and they eat it right out of your fingers.
They're like little puppies.
You think it would feel scaly and stuff? They're soft like a baby's butt underneath the stingray. Have you ever felt under a stingray?
Yeah,
they're like a baby's butt. It's tight, it's soft, super soft.
They're really sweet too. Yeah, like they know you. They get to know everybody. I mean, I see why there's such from like a practical standpoint, I'm like, there's no way I'm never gonna have one. But if you've ever played with one and like fed one, you're like, oh, wow. And they'll like splash just to kind of play with you and get your attention and stuff, And
Danny and I have been researching. We would like to get 3 more lines of plecos to breed. So we're not sure which ones we want to do. I'm in left field, she's in right field, and we're going to hopefully meet somewhere because she's got like 10 she's thinking, I got like 10, and we got to figure out how to maybe 3-4 more lines. That's it, So
yeah, I hear you. Well,
I've been trumping her lately because I've been doing 90% of the work around here lately. So I said, when you start participating again, then you will have a bigger say on what comes and goes.
Right. Well, yeah, you've got your hands so full. Like, I don't know how you guys do it as it is. Like, I've got 30 tanks, and they're all like like half of them now are 2.5 gallons. Like I've been doing the musical filterless 2.5 gallon shuffle with, I don't know, 5 or 6 species and having fun with that. I mean, it's no commitment whatsoever. If I want to stop, I just like don't move them to the next tank and their parents eat them the end. So yeah.
Somebody said Roland's a bad influence.
He
They must
is.
know Roland well.
Yeah, he is. He's got.
Angie says, when I get a pretty bruise for my own availability, I say Kensington.
Yeah. Somebody said, I think Foxy said, play the Kensington song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Roxanne, I'm the one that is not technically capable. I mean, I am the challenged man.
And don't look at me. I don't know anything about that. Yeah. Oh, but I do have some news for anybody watching from my channel. Let me do a plug real quick, which is I do have a Discord that I've been building, and it will be an online like repertoire or library, whatever, a resource of any paper that I get permission to share from the author, but we can't share publicly. And then also it's going to have all the normal Discord, like people can put memes up and do that stuff. But we should be unlocking it before September, probably, like any day now. Serena, aka Nirvana Aquatics, she's been like really helpful and just like helping me create the actual functionality and role titles and all that stuff. We just have to make a few more like thumbnails and example posts, and we're almost done with it. So for everybody who's been wanting a Discord, it's happening finally, even though I've been dragging my feet for like 3 years. And also tomorrow, Ivan McColgy will be on my channel at 4:30 Pacific and at 7:30 Eastern. And he's going to give a presentation on how a guy with no background in photography or science or anything could end up being a National Geographic award-winning photographer who has now chronicled the Orinoco. And then we're going to also talk about how we are actively, as we speak, have a team of scientists that are reintroducing the diamond tetra to their endemic home, where they have not been for 35 years. So
you already got the stream set up?
I don't have it created like to link to yet, but I will later tonight when Ivan links me. Because the problem is Ivan has he's in Venezuela, and frequently the government will just shut down the internet and the electricity. And so we're gonna do it if we can. And there's maybe a 1 in 5 chance that they just shut down the internet. So
that's going to be an awesome stream.
So it should be really good. Even if it doesn't happen tomorrow, even if we have to like kick it, you know, a day down the road or whatever, it will happen. The presentation exists. I've seen it. Like he gave it to me as an example, and it's really interesting. And it's pretty cool. Like most people don't know that the diamond tetra, I mean, even the owner of the wet spot didn't know that they don't exist in the wild. From like, that's not natural. What happened is people in the 60s and 70s took them from Lake Valencia and let them go all over the Amazon basin, like in the Orinoco, in Colombia, in Brazil, and in Peru. And now they catch them from those places, but they don't, like, they were from one lake in Venezuela, and we know the lake. We've surveyed it. We've shown that literally all the other fish that used to be there are there, but just these fish are missing. And that means there's too many of a number of bugs and things. So they're even like, they're needed there so that they will restore order to the water. And it's already in a protected, it's already a national park there. because it's a strategic oil reserve. So it works out that, like, ironically, it being in an oil field is going to protect these fish because they want to protect that land. So that's my plug. I just had to give that out. But Kenny, thank you so much for having me tonight, and everybody
thanks for coming
for
on.
hanging out with
And
us.
for all the folks that have been watching the ASE, we have fired back up. Friday was our first stream. Next Friday, we will be talking about the upcoming drafts. If you are on one of the Fish Fam football teams, drafts will be next weekend. Ed has sent you the Yahoo link, so be sure to check your emails. Or if you have the Yahoo app like I do for fantasy, you'll see your team sitting there. Just activate it so you're ready to go next weekend. I'm sorry, I don't know which leagues are doing what. I'm in 4 of them, so all I can tell you is there's 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. Check your stuff and make sure you know when you're going to be drafting. Also, like I said, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, Fishtoberfest is at the end of September. Danica will be there with the table as well, so be sure to check that out. But Alex, greatly appreciate you. I do know your parents are there, so I'm going to cut you loose so you can get on to see your mom and dad. I appreciate you coming out. And
hey, thanks for having me.
Over to see good old George. I haven't seen if he's got one. If one of my mods sees that he has a link, go ahead and drop it. We'll go hashtag. What should it be tonight, Alex?
Boy, I don't know. That's tough for George.
You know, I mean, since you're on the stream, I got a perfect one.
Okay.
Hashtag 9 lives.
There you go. I was gonna say something like that. 5 lives.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. All the people that came tonight, we greatly appreciate you. Absolutely do appreciate the support. Thanks to all my mods for keeping us safe. All the super chatters, appreciate you. All my members, greatly appreciate it. Of course, all the replay and lurkers. Love you guys as well. But most importantly, all of you that sat here for the full hour, all 50, I think we were up to 65 at one point. We greatly appreciate it. Right on. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Take care.